Welcome back, guys. So, week 14 of the NFL is about to kick off. I thought I'd do a simulation of this game because it was such a good game on the. I'm trying to remember now. Was it Thursday night football in the snow? And then the Browns managed to win that game. So Madden has them evenly matched, so it's a good one for testing the sliders. We've increased pass defense this time, see if we can get those dialed in. I just weren't quite happy with how the sliders were looking, but yeah. So Madden has the Browns at an 81 overall and the Steelers an 83. We've got is it palindromic where the numbers are the reversed? We've got the Steelers at 9-3, and the Browns are at 3-9. A couple of X factors. Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb on the Browns, and Haywood and TJ Watt on the Steelers. Mika Fitzpatrick is the star, and Mika Fitzpatrick is the star for the Steelers, and is it Denzel Ward, the cornerback for the Browns, is the star. So in terms of the table, obviously it's an AFC North clash. The Browns, the season's pretty much done for them. The Steelers are still top in the division, 9-3. The Ravens, of course, lost last week. They're 8-5. It isn't all to play for, but it's always a nasty clash when the Browns and the Steelers meet each other. So especially because of that recent victory. So let's dive in and see how Madden calls this one. I'm just going to go quiet for a bit while I get Red Zone on the big screen.
It's the NFL on
2
EA
secs.
Sports, and the wait is over for this rivalry game. It's the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
But not far from where the Steelers' former homes at Three Rivers Stadium, Forbes Field once stood. We are at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so I think the big game for today is this Falcons and Vikings. There didn't seem to be many games that were really leaping out at me. Maybe the Jets and the Dolphins are another one, but yeah, there doesn't seem to be many that are really leaping out at me. I think the Falcons-Vikings one is probably the pick of the bunch, but in terms of raw emotion, I think that this Steelers and Browns game is probably going to be, especially for getting these sliders dialed in, because they're evenly matched in Madden, and I think when we last did a simulation we got pretty close stats, but we were still getting too high a quarterback accuracy, and that's the problem. I don't really want to start a franchise until we get to a point where we've got decent sliders. And I think pass defense was just a bit too weak. We were just seeing too many completions still. I didn't really want to dial down drops too much, because we were seeing a lot of drops that were happening, and I just don't like to see that stat. It's not really realistic. I think you know, getting a couple of drops per game is normal. I would expect them to go up if it's a weather game, but I don't think Madden really has ever dialed that in. I don't really think you see much variation in weather affecting the game like you do in real life. But looks like the Dolphins have moved pretty far down the field. They're looking like they're about to score pretty quick on the Jets. I mean, Jets-Dolphins games, to be honest, they're usually pretty entertaining. But you know, they're both teams' seasons are pretty mediocre at this point. The Dolphins are 5-7, Jets 3-9. I think it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult to pick anybody that's gonna win that division.
2nd and 10. Wilson. A short one there to Fryermuth. And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Now it's Wilson. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
The Steelers' new punter for 2024, Corliss Waitman, on to punt. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. Eight yards on the return following a punt of 41. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be under the command of the former Florida State Seminole, the #1 overall pick in 2015, Jameis Winston.
Throughout his career, a few have doubted Jameis Winston's ability to throw the football. The concerns, they've always centered around his accuracy and taking care of it. When he makes good decisions on the field, excellent numbers usually result.
First carry for Nick Chubb. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Linebacker Patrick Queen bringing him down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. And again, it's Chubb. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
A couple extra tight ends in the formation here as they line up 3rd and 2. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. They'll get this up to about the 44.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. They'll try to throw now. Winston. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Alex Highsmith making the nice play and getting the sack.
In every game we talk about what are going to be the keys as we go into it. Maybe that's a key for their defense today. Pressure the quarterback and make sure you play a good zone defense behind them, and they get their first sack of the contest.
So here's a 3rd and 14. Winston. And that will be incomplete. Had to pass there. 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away. We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus, and indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Harris running straight ahead, and he'll fight forward on the straight ahead running for just a couple of yards, 2nd down.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
From the 38 now, here comes 2nd and 8. Now Wilson. He's got this to Pickens. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. First catch so far by Pickens. It's good for a 1st down.
What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
From the gun, it's Wilson. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. So a PI call going to cost him there defensively. What did you see?
Well, I think it's the right call, partner, because sometimes we'll see officials kind of let them play. But by the letter of the law, that's definitely a penalty.
Now a give. Running left is Harris. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a 1st down as well.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
They go play action with Wilson. Over the middle, it's complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
2nd down and 4. On the give, this is Harris. Fighting through. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up 1st and goal. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive, much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt the ball away the first time they had it. Got motivated, got to the sideline, said, okay, let's not let that happen here as we take over again.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Russell Wilson taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Steelers will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
Well, I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And he'll put it through to make it 7-0 Steelers. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it was Russell Wilson finishing things off with a touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And able to get this out to the 25. The Cleveland offense ready to go. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
Up the middle, it's Chubb. Oh, he bowls over him. And he's going to have a Browns first down as the tackle made just shy of the 40.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Here's Winston. Into the hands of Cedric Tillman. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area. And after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
From just shy of midfield, here's second down and a yard. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Speed is the name of the game when it comes to RPOs, and sometimes you can be a little too quick, thus inaccurate, incomplete.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll go left side on the ground with Chubb. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, it wasn't a goal line situation, but how about the goal line formation on 3rd and short? They went in and went heavy. No surprise on who was going to get the football. How about the power exhibited there?
Yeah, that was just put a hat on a hat, drive forward. Nice job to pick it up. Winston now from the 50. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
They go up the middle with Chubb. And he'll get about 5 here as he'll take this down inside the 20-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Second and 5. Here's Chubb on the read option. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 43 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Jameis to throw it. That's to the pylon and incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
And darn right, they did something to disrupt that timing.
Now a 2nd and 10. And Chubb will try the middle here. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Some good strong running right there, some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
3rd down and 1. Winston. Touchdown, Browns. Cedric Tillman from 3 yards out. And the Browns are an extra point away from drawing level. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run. So much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And we are tied at 7. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent offer a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 16 more on that one and another first down. Oftentimes broken tackles are his specialties, and put another one on his tally there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. One-on-one, not likely to get him down. You need everyone else to get there and help you. I think they were signaling for you and I to jump on the pile and try and get him down, weren't they?
You don't want me out there, I promise you. Got an open man, it's Pickens. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
And the offense is saying to itself right now, only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. Austin brings in the quick throw. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that will bring up 2nd down. So a decent gain there, but not their 4th consecutive first down like they had on the first 3 plays.
You sound almost disappointed there. You want to fire the offensive coordinator on that one or what?
They'd gotten into a rhythm. I thought they were just going to keep going.
Well, almost a win for the defense, but if that's your win, you're not doing very well right now.
They'll try the right side with Harris. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Now Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Call it a loss of 4 there on the sack. And speaking of the number 4, it brings up 4th down now.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down.
Boswell's kick is good.
And they take the lead here now at 10-7.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number one. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's 2nd and 3.
From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
65 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start.
When he runs, he seems to do a nice job of knowing when to be patient and find the hole, and then when the hole is there, he goes quickly.
You're exactly right. He knows how to just take off, but you know what else? Brings a little thump with him, doesn't he?
He does.
He packs the boom at the end of the run and finishes it going forward. That's what you want to see out of your backs.
And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
They run it again with Chubb. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on second.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Here is 3rd down and 4.
Winston now. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up 4th down. 10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. The start of the second quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football. Too long for a field goal, too short to punt. That in-between range, and they'll go for it on 4th down. Now Winston.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. That's a 4th down pickup of 10 yards, and an opportunity certainly missed on the defensive side.
So now following the roll of the dice, they've got a 1st and 10 inside the 35.
Now they return to the ground game. Chubb. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland.
33 yards for Nick Chubb. And the Browns have taken the lead. That run going to put him over 100 yards now for the ball game as well.
Yeah, he's really had his way so far, and that's just more of the same right here. All he needs, just a little crease, and off he goes.
Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. And that makes it 14-10.
So that drive 7 plays in length. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Wilson. Got his man. It's Warren. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And 3rd and 1 now.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play. One-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those too.
They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive alive.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. 2nd down and a little more than a yard here. They hand this off to Harris. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the 1st down. They love being physical.
Here's Wilson. Completes it to Austin. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And it's 2nd down. Here's Wilson to throw. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
That's going to be caught by Pickens. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains, Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
And they've got 3 tight ends here on 1st and goal to add some extra mass.
To throw again is Wilson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Grant Delpit.
He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Well, that's not how you hope to draw it up there on 1st and goal, CD, by taking a sack like that.
Well, they tried to be aggressive, didn't they? They didn't want to try and work their way past the goal line. They wanted it right there on that play. Unfortunately, it backfired against them. Now they have to try and pick it up here moving forward.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the 1st down marker. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd. I thought they were going to sack him there like they did on 1st down. Great coverage, but he found a way to move with his legs.
Yeah, his ability to take off, not only did he get some yardage back, he got a little bit extra. Really helps him on 3rd down, makes it manageable now.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Oh, I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Boswell's kick is good. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13.
So the margin shrinks there as they get the field goal to draw them a bit closer here in this 2nd quarter.
Yeah, nice snap, nice hold. They just want to keep this game close, so give them credit for finishing that one off with 3.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Browns offense and their star running back Nick Chubb getting set to take over once more. And as a play caller, when you've got a guy who's running like this, you lean on him and your offensive line. He's had big hole after big hole to run through in this 1st half.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Now Winston. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
And partner, to me, that one was all about timing. If he's there too early, it's going to be a pass interference call. If he's too late, it's a completed pass. He was Johnny on the spot on that one.
The offense on 3rd down, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. They set up the screen to Chubb. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. That's good for a Cleveland 1st down and 11-yard pickup.
You want to see a defensive coordinator get upset and throw his headset? This is the kind of play that'll do it. You force 3rd and long. This is almost sort of a give-up play. You're just hoping to get something positive, and it winds up breaking big, and they convert on 3rd down.
Handoff comes to Chubb. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
2nd down and 8.
Off the play fake, Winston. That's to the right side and complete to Njoku. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And now it's 3rd and 3.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough. Swing the tight end free downfield for the completion.
The heavy set out there. 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3.
A give. This is Chubb. And he's got the first down yardage there as he takes it just across midfield. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. They run again on 1st down, Chubb. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
133 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
A run for Nick Chubb.
He'll take it inside the 25.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
They give the Chubb out of the gun. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23. Now this drive, they're 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions, but they need 7 yards here. Throwing, Winston. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
From the gun, Winston. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
From the 3, 2nd and a yard.
Now they bring the tight end in motion right. Chubb. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. On 3rd down, it's Nick Chubb. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right, they need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal.
Chubb will score. Touchdown, Cleveland.
For as good as Nick Chubb is in the open field, he's every bit as good when they line him up down near the goal line. He's a speed back between the 20s, but a power back down close, and he forces his way into the end zone.
Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. And with that, the lead is up to 8. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Steelers offense and Russell Wilson headed back onto the field. And he's done everything you could have asked for coming in. He's spread it around. He hasn't taken many chances. And he's potentially on his way to a big game throwing the football.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. From the gun, it's Wilson.
Looking for Pickens. He's got him on the out route.
And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. That'll put him over 100 yards receiving now here in this first half of action. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So you got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And he tries to keep the legs churning, but he's going to be stopped behind the line.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13.
Now run straight ahead with Warren.
And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. A nice pickup of 10 means that this drive will stay on track.
Certainly not a positive sign if you're the D coordinator and you see your guys give up that space so early in the game. 3rd down, that's when the clamps are supposed to come out, but his ability to create things with his legs makes things difficult.
They go play action with Wilson. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Grant Delpit.
That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Out of the gun, here's Wilson.
A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Now Wilson. And he'll be brought down
looks like right at the 40. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for fourth. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. And that'll get the lead down to 5. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Browns drive about to get started. They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would. And in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
yeah, not the case. Not
at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about seeing defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up third.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Third and 4. To throw, Winston. That is caught. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. Winston. Right back to Njoku. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. This duo locked in, 14 yards there, and a first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
They'll throw again. Winston. That's out to Chubb, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. 7 yards there on the first down screen play.
He's had success running the football, and this is more or less an extension of that because they drop it off to him on the screen. And I'll bet he's thinking to himself, if I didn't have to slow up a bit here in traffic, I could have really made something out of that one.
To throw is Winston. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 24-yard line. Jameis to throw it. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout called. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the left hash, this from 34. Hopkins' kick is good, and that'll push the lead up to 8. So a late 3 there, and that'll help as they head into the break.
Talk about situational football and something they've worked on since the OTAs and mini camps the previous summer. They take care of the ball, get 3 points, knowing they're going to get the ball to start the second half. That's the old 2-for-1 special to finish things off.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. And he floats one there, incomplete. So we come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Browns with the lead. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
We saw a solid first half out of the workhorse Nick Chubb. He's over 100 yards rushing for the game already and found the end zone twice as well.
Okay, Coach. Appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Browns offense and their running back getting set to go once more. And as we roll through some of the highlights, we see how crucial he's been to their success in this one. When he's in this type of a groove and his offensive linemen are creating running lanes for him, he can really put on a show, and he's done so here. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be license to take some shots downfield.
This defense coming out after the half, and if that plays any indicator, Charles, maybe a little refreshed and refocused here for quarters 3 and 4.
Yeah, they did really well on that one. That's exactly what they need to keep doing if they want to change their fortunes in this game.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Drops it off for Chubb. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to bring up a third down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's fourth down.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it. And that's a strong performance there defensively to force the incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on
on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They go play action now. Wilson. It's Williams on the catch. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
2nd down and a yard. Harris running straight ahead. And Najee going to have a Steelers 1st down as he gets this up past the 40.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Throwing is Wilson.
Able to hook up with Williams here on the out route.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's 2nd down. On the give, this is Harris, and he'll be brought down right on the 50, a gain of 3. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but their surge wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This will be a critical call.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And well done here. That one will kick out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
The Browns drive about to get started. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Up the middle, it's Chubb. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. If they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
Now the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long.
And Jameis is going to go down in the end zone, and that is going to be a safety.
Now pause here for an injury, and not the guy this offense wants to see hurting. That's Jameis Winston who's shaken up. Now, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break.
So after that safety, now a free kick situation forthcoming as they punt it away from the 20. This is taken at the 18. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
A handoff for Warren.
And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory.
A yard all they need, but it's third down.
Play action. Now Wilson.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Martin Emerson.
And a big return will get him all the way down to the 35.
So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the tackle by the QB.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. Following the interception, Winston. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down.
Alex Highsmith
Picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
A CD, a little bit of feast or famine for him. He's had some success throwing the football, but also now he's been sacked 4 times.
Yeah, you just mentioned the 4 sacks, but you're right. He has managed to hang in there and make plays at times. His offensive line, they've got to figure it out and pick things up and give him more opportunities, and he has to help them by getting rid of the ball a little bit quicker as well.
Throwing on second and long. Winston. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. So the completion good for just 3. And they're going to be staring at a third and long here.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up third down.
The terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this third and long.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
The Browns send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And out of bounds, sailed over, looked like right near the pylon. This one's going to be perfect. Directional kicking at its finest, right down at the 1-yard line.
The Steelers offense and George Pickens set to take over again. And you see the numbers for him into this third quarter. They just pop off the screen. He has been open throughout.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
And now they have a little more space to maneuver from the 15, 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Wilson. His throw incomplete.
But plain and simple, that's the second time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
Here's Wilson to throw.
Open man, that's the tight end Freiermuth.
They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Play action. It's Wilson.
He's got his target. That's complete.
He takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Harris. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line.
67 yards rushing for him now to this point.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
On the give, it's Warren.
And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
2nd and 7.
They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. And he's going to take this down close to a first down at the Browns' 42. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up.
I don't care what the emphasis is in the NFL at any given time. Every defense is still going to say their #1 goal every game is stop the run. And right now, they're not doing that, and that really chips away at your confidence.
On 3rd down, here's Harris. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It'll be a gain of 6 that time as it moves the chains as well.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy who can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
They'll run it. Warren
dancing away at the 35. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Here's 2nd and 7.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything. And against that man coverage, there was no space available. And incompletion as a result.
Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down. Now it's Wilson.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down, that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Wilson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it'll be second down.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
It's 2nd and 7 from the 9.
Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. And it'll be intercepted.
Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns are going to have the football at their own 1-yard line. So that a definite deflator there on the interception.
Yeah, you work your way down the field thinking you're in position for a go-ahead score. But all it takes is one errant throw, and this one winds up a turnover.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
But the good news for them, they got the football. The bad news, they have to go 99 yards here as they start this drive out on their own 1-yard line.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
And give him a lot of credit there, but even more credit to the guys up front. In that situation, you know it's going to be a stacked defensive front. And to be able to gain that much yardage, that's a big win for the guys on offense.
Yeah, they were just about standing on their own goal line, so to get a few yards there, a great start. Now we'll see what second down brings.
That's complete. It's Elijah Moore.
And they'll get him down up past the 15. That'll go for a gain of 13, helping big time to get away from that end zone. First down.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Working out of the gun, Winston.
To the right side, that's where Tillman is.
So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up second down. On the jet sweep, here comes Moore.
Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
Well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss. And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's fourth down.
Well, if nothing else, they were able to pick up one first down on this drive and get it away from their own goal line. But not much happening after that, and it leads to a punting situation.
The Browns send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line.
The Steelers' offense and running back Najee Harris set to take over once more. And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the third quarter.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
But this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10.
From the gun, it's Wilson. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down.
In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
Well, this has turned into an absolute week to forget for this quarterback. Multiple sacks, pair that with multiple turnovers. As far as he's concerned, if he ever sees this defense again, it'll be way too soon.
And on third down, the Browns going to go with a nickel set. Here's Wilson. Steps away to his left. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up fourth down.
Well, there were a couple of extra defensive backs in the game, so he really had nowhere to go with the football despite his search for an open receiver. So he has to take off and run for it, but he comes up well short of the line to gain.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Here's Moore on the return. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
The Browns drive about to get started. They'll begin with much more advantageous starting field position than they did on their last drive as they come up here 1st and 10. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They dial up the corner blitz that time, and it delivers to the tune of a 9-yard loss.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. And Chubb will try the middle here. Even with that broken tackle, can't go very far. Stops short of the 30. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well,
and the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down.
There's your co-NFL record holder, T.J. Watt, doing what he does best, terrorizing quarterbacks.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh, as it looks like we are just about set and ready to begin with the 4th. The Browns send out their punter now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Now Austin. Oh, a nifty juke there.
not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And out will come the offense as they take over.
The home team's offense and their wideout getting set to go once more. And he's had some kind of game. They made it a point to get him involved early, and it has paid giant rewards to this stage of the game.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
They go play action with Wilson. He's got this to Pickens. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Another first down, this time on a gain of 19. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Now a give, running left is Harris. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep two eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting two hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down.
They're not out of it yet, but in order to come back, they need him to play clean football the rest of the way. He makes the correct read there, passing on challenging a blanket coverage and getting the first down with his legs instead.
They come up on a first and goal and most likely four-down territory as they need a touchdown and the PAT for the lead. Now Wilson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Oh, this defense knows. Fourth quarter, they need to make a play. That one was ripe for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game, but it winds up incomplete.
The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for second and goal. Now it's Wilson. Out to his left. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Myles Garrett able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
On third and goal, Wilson. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Right there in coverage. Credit Greg Newsome with getting a hand on it.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
Boswell's kick is good, and that will bring the deficit back down to 3. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. Well, now how about this return?
And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Fourth quarter, they cling to a 3-point lead after the field goal a moment ago. And it's certainly a very critical drive with still a good chunk of time remaining.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, fourth quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. And he'll get it down here to the 43. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. A give running right is Chubb, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Another good run for him. What else is new? That'll put him right at 150 yards for the game, so he's really made his presence felt in this one.
Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. Here's Winston. Looking left side, that's caught by Moore. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's 3rd and 4 now. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Winston. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Now they return to the ground game. Chubb. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set them up 1st and goal.
And that's the type of run that they're looking for, because they'll need to continue to rely on him to move the sticks in this tight game in order to preserve this lead.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll run with Chubb. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Browns are able to build on to their 4th quarter lead. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then 1 play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard charging run, give it right back to him and let him cap things off.
On is Hopkins now for the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And Nick Chubb the one to finish it off as he does so with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. Past midfield. Still going. 1 man to beat. And he will score. Touchdown, Steelers. And that big 4th quarter return, Charles, makes this a 1-score game.
And now it all comes down to philosophy. All right, they just had a big return for a touchdown, so the momentum is high. Do you want to ride that and go for 2? Or do you just go ahead and kick the extra point and come back and rely on your defense?
Extra point now by Boswell.
And the lead is down to a field goal now. And no doubt one of the most, if not the most exciting play we'll see in this game. The kick return all the way to the end zone for 6 points. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. I guess the good news as they start this drive is that they still do have the lead, Charles. If their defense hadn't been able to hold them to a field goal on the other side, they'd be down. But now it's about preserving that very small lead.
It is preserving and maybe stretching it out a little bit. Because if you're a starter on that side of the ball, I certainly hope you didn't loosen up your shoulder pads or start to cut the tape off. Because if you did it way too soon. They've got to go back out there with renewed vigor, for lack of a better term, and also a good plan. They need points, and they need them now.
They run again on first down, Chubb. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. Alex Highsmith there on the tackle. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
He'll get only a couple down to the 44.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Here's 3rd and 3.
Jameis to throw it. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Browns first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Off the play fake, Winston. He'll buy some time right. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit. They recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only second and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
Now Winston. Open man, that's Tillman. And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. First down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down. Stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
They go up the middle with Chubb. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Well, the offense has had a big day. He's been great running the football, but I don't think anybody liked that last result.
No, they didn't like the last result at all, but they have to look at it in total, don't they? They've had a big day running the football. You take an occasional loss or an occasional bad play along the way, but all in all, they have to like what they've done.
4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive, take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb An 11-yard touchdown. And the Browns are able to stretch out their lead. But that's certainly an important touchdown there. It makes this a two-score game.
But as we've seen, no lead is safe in this one with the way these two offenses have lit up the scoreboard. I would imagine that on their sidelines, they're both yelling at their defenses, hey, you want to get involved here? One big play from you, that could win the game for us.
Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it's capped off by the Browns' touchdown. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and that'll make it second down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown.
From the 33, here's 2nd and 6.
Throwing is Wilson.
Complete to Austin here over the middle.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And now that sets up 3rd and 2.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
They hand this off to Harris. And forget that 100-yard rushing game, at least for the moment, as he'll lose yardage here and fall back under the century mark for the game.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Austin. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Here's Wilson to throw. Fighting to stay upright. And shedding the tackle, and now some room. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a 1st down. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the 4th quarter, picking up the 1st.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
That's to the sideline and incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
2nd and 10.
Here's Wilson.
And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Now Wilson. And that is incomplete. And that one broken up by Martin Emerson.
Give him credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. With the points that we've seen scored, neither defense has been at their best, but these guys, they've been a little bit better, Charles, and a nice interception there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brandon. Let's face it. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish, right? So maybe you have a rough game all the way along, but if you make a big play like that at the right time, it can make everything turn out just okay.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
They have to like the position that they are in. 4th quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT to the 43, 2nd down.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that 1st down carry.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning.
Second down, here's Chubb again.
And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. Give him 4 yards on the play, and that will lead us into the 2-minute warning. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he won't get close. Only a yard, 4th and 3. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. The Browns send out their punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And did he put that on a dime? He did. Wow, out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
The home team's offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And this defense has got to be at its wits' end, trying to come up with ways to keep him contained. He's had so many opportunities to tuck it and go, and he's turned a number of those opportunities into big plays. Here's 1st and 10.
Now Wilson.
That's to Freiermuth. And they'll get this up to the 10, but that's all. A nice job there to bring him down defensively.
And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
If this offense can't get it done, they'll think back to just a few plays and say to themselves, this was a winnable game, and we let it get away. Still a chance to save it, but time's definitely running out.
But just a gigantic play here, both sides. This is 3rd and inches.
Here's Wilson.
He's got his target. That's complete.
Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the 1st down. Wilson to throw.
Here's Freiermuth again.
They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him up to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Well, they need to score, and score quick. One timeout remaining. Final minute, 1st and 10. And that's caught by Williams. Oh, and a nice tackle, a 6-yard pickup, but they need more than that.
Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game.
Now 2nd and 4.
Throwing now is Wilson. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Myles Garrett in there to take him down, and the clock will roll.
Well, this was a fun one today if you like points. A lot of them went on the board. Both offenses were clicking. Charles, these defenses, meanwhile, have a little something to clean up before their next contest.
Yeah, neither end zone had a stop sign in it, did they? I mean, for both sides, visit it, and with frequency. Not fun to be a defensive player, but on the offensive side of the ball, those guys had a blast. One team came away with a victory, even better for them.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com.
And with that, we say so long from Pittsburgh.
The kicker, Dustin Hopkins, set to get this one going.
And we are underway from Pittsburgh.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the man who proclaims to be from a whole pack of Badgers. Came into the league back in 2012, Russell Wilson.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Wilson going to come out throwing. He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth.
So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to bring up second down.
And their coach told us the other day that they wanted to get him in a nice groove right out of the gate. And one way to do that, give him quick throws where he can get the ball out of his hand in a hurry, as he did there.
Now 2nd and 3.
To throw is Wilson.
He gets that to the longtime Charger. It's Mike Williams.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35.
That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 34. Harris, a nice little juke.
And he'll manage to break a tackle and get this forward for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line. Now run straight ahead with Warren.
And not much running room. Down to the 32. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Wilson.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. Boswell's kick is good, and the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So here are the Browns under head coach Kevin Stefanski.
They'll be led out by their 6'4" quarterback, the former #1 overall pick in 2015, Jameis Winston.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
To throw is Winston.
He'll get this complete to Tillman.
And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
They'll come up 2nd and 7.
To throw, Winston.
And that's going to be incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, it was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Throwing, Winston.
This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal. Let's go back and at least equal that, guys. But if we don't, you don't want them to feel like it's the end of the world either. Nice that they were able to pick up the first down there, help them relax a little bit.
Play fake. Winston. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. I think a lot of time when we see a sack, you say, well, you blame it on the offensive line, the quarterback, but here, maybe you just tip your hat to the defender. What a play.
Yeah, and I think sometimes they just get a sense of the play before the ball's even snapped. Kind of like a sprinter anticipating the gun in a race. They're off, and guess what? The quarterback's down.
So following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. Winston now. This short pass into the hands of Njoku.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now.
Jameis to throw it.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 34-yard line. Another good reception there, and the Browns on the march.
Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And the top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
Snap will come from the 31 on 2nd and 7.
From the gun, Winston. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Open man, that's Tillman. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want to throw body blows all game long and finish it with uppercuts. Well, here are the body blows right now. He's hoping in one uppercut will take care of the end of this drive.
That's caught left side by Judy.
And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play.
So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Now a 2nd and 10.
Working out of the gun, Winston. This is the tight end, Njoku. And he's brought down, but he has it down to the 12 on a pickup of 12. 1st and 10.
Well, they're not hiding who their central focus is on offense. Charles, he already now has 4 receptions here on this opening drive.
And I know people who are watching the game are thinking, did they forget about him in the defensive game plan? But it's actually been the opposite. They're giving him a lot of attention, but he's been very creative and savvy in his route running and finding seams and openings in order to create these completions.
Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. In motion, the tight end. A give. This is Chubb. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. He can rack up those tackles in bunches in the run game from that middle linebacker spot.
And what he has to do is make sure he congratulates the guys in front and tells them thanks a lot, because as the guy in the middle, the Mike linebacker, you're counting on your front 3, your front 4, front 5, whatever you've got in front of you to take up all the blocking, allow you to roam and hit. And that's what he did on that play.
Yeah, the Browns are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the 1st down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jameis Winston taking it in from a yard out.
And the Browns have answered that early field goal to take a first-quarter lead.
So a quarterback scramble, certainly a pass play, but he saw something, tucked it, and got in the end zone.
A lot of quarterbacks, when they scramble, they're scrambling to create more time to throw the ball downfield. In this situation, as you noted, he tucked it and took off. Great play by him.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. He's got it. They'll see that opening drive field goal and raise it a touchdown, and that makes it 7-3. That drive, a long one, spanning 15 plays. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away.
And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Harris running straight ahead. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
3rd down and 6.
Now it's Wilson.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Steelers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
They're just going to run a drive route here with their tight end. Let him get upfield about 10 yards and then move toward the middle of the field. This ball's right on target, and it results in a 1st down.
A run with Harris out of the shotgun. He'll take this to the 46.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
From the 46-yard line, a 2nd down and 6. They'll run again with Harris. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
Wilson. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On the give, this is Harris. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Now it's Wilson. And that's incomplete.
And there was a good opportunity to just went awry there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7. Here's Wilson to throw. That is caught. And the Steelers are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
A field goal helps, but a touchdown gets you the lead. That had to be the message transmitted in the huddle. And they delivered there as that throw is going to keep the drive alive. And even better than that, set them up with a 1st and goal.
Harris. Diving for the end zone, and he'll get there. Touchdown.
2 good drives on their first 2 possessions. Remember, the first wound up in a field goal, but we all know field goals aren't going to cut it in the NFL. So they're not going to be denied here, and they wind up punching this one into the end zone.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Browns drive about to get started. As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game. And they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive. So we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
Now Winston. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he goes out right around the 39. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Chubb will get the call running left. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call because there's a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
Here's Winston. And a quick throw here that's complete. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go.
They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
On 3rd down, it's Nick Chubb.
And Chubb fighting, but nowhere to go. He's going to be stopped short of that first down marker.
No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt.
The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin.
And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams
breaks the tackle, now Allen. And they'll get him down up past the 15. Trying to find some space to operate, and now they'll have it. A gain of 12, a big first down to get away from the end zone.
I guess it's good we can't really read the mind of the defensive coordinator now, huh?
Had him pinned back there deep, give up that run. Can't be happy.
Yeah, whatever's in his mind right now, we probably couldn't say over the air.
And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's 2nd down.
I think the defense surprised him there with that blitz on first down, but give him credit. Stayed cool under pressure and still found a way through the extra rushers for positive yardage. Well done.
Now Wilson. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. What a play that turns out to be. 36 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 46. They run with Harris. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Throwing is Wilson. He finds Austin complete. A busy first quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a first down. Now Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down. (10-7) our score after 1 right here on EA Sports.
Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they go to work on a 1st and goal. They go play action with Wilson. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Pat Freiermuth from 3 yards out. And the Steelers go nearly the length of the field and finish it off with 6 points.
This is why a lot of play callers love play action in this spot. You just want to freeze the linebackers just for a second. Then you got a chance to get a quick pass into your tight end right behind them for a touchdown.
Boswell for the extra point. It's good to make it 17-7. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Cleveland offense ready to go. They find themselves down 17-7 as they start this drive 1st and 10. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. In motion goes the tight end. Second down, here's Chubb again. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
The Browns on 3rd down. They've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. Winston. Oh, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously, one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. They turn to Harris to begin the drive. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
From the 28, it's 2nd and 5. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 62 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down. It's rare that a man his size can at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about Tiny? You're talking about the little guy back there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out.
The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 49-yard line. They'll run. Here's Harris. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it.
From the 43, here's 2nd and 4.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson.
A short one there to Freiermuth. And Freiermuth going to have a Steelers first down as he'll get this down to the 35-yard line.
That one goes for 8 yards.
They've looked his way quite a bit, and in my estimation, as well they should.
Well, that's now 5 catches in this first half alone.
And he picks up another first down. He's been an important part of their offense here early.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. This is Harris. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Not a big run, not an explosive run, but they've held the ball for plenty of plays on this drive. They're just trying to impose their will on the defense right now.
They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down. To throw is Wilson. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
Boswell's kick is good, and that will open the lead up now to 20-7. That was perfect. From distance, he steps up, knocks it right down Main Street.
And Main Street's celebrating right now with him, aren't they? I love the mechanics of the whole thing. Snap, hold, everything was right on target, and the blocking was perfect, and he executed so well.
For the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down, and you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. And some space here. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
40 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Now that's a big-time run. Lightning in a bottle, forget it. He exploded out of the bottle for that type of a pickup.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. And again, it's Chubb. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Cameron Hayward in on the tackle. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 34-yard line. That's a gain of 13 as they try to whittle away at this 13-point deficit. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. How about this? They'll try the option, left side. 6 yards there on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it. And while he didn't get a 1st down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
This 2nd and 4.
Now Winston. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
The Browns on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 4. Winston.
He had to reach for that one, but can't grab it. It's behind him, and it's incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
Hopkins' kick is good. And that cuts into the deficit. It's now 20-10.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The home team's offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. And as a play caller, when you've got a guy who's running like this, you lean on him and your offensive line. He's had big hole after big hole to run through in this 1st half.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Here's Wilson. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. Well, it was 2nd and long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
How to approach this. 3rd down and 16 yards to go.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Over the middle, complete. It's Williams. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's fourth down.
On third down, you'll give them that. You just want to make sure that you play the first down line. They were able to get him down and force the punt.
The Steelers' new punter for 2024, Corliss Waitman, on to punt.
As he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Returning it is Moore. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Play action now. Winston.
On the throw, let him too much that time. It's incomplete.
The touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Throwing. Winston.
He's got his target. That's complete. He's going to have the first down and more than that.
And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. A big play that time on the catch and run. 33 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. They go up the middle with Chubb. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42.
Stopped in his tracks and given a loss on that play by Patrick Queen.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Second down, here's Chubb again.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And Winston lost the football. Offensively lucky there, able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming.
That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. finding Harris over the middle. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
The defense was ready for the back to leak out and even had a second player waiting to double him up. If you're going to commit to doubling a back, you better prevent a completion, but give him credit. Extra determination, extra effort, turned it into a successful play.
Wilson. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. That'll put him at 66 receiving yards now for the game, and he's got a first down.
And that's well executed there on third down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They hand this off to Harris. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 79 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Here's 2nd and 3.
Here's Wilson.
Looking for Pickens. He's got him on the out route.
He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris.
And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning.
From midfield now, here's Wilson.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Back to throw. Wilson.
That's going to be caught by Pickens.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And smartly going into the slide there, Wilson has enough for the first. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
You and I both know most coaches are really fearful about their quarterbacks running with the ball. They don't want them to take that big hit. I don't think they worry about that with Russell Wilson. He's so smart in what he does, and we just saw it there on that scramble.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Now it's Wilson.
Got an open man. It's Pickens.
So the completion gets him just a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
Second and 9.
Wilson.
He'll get this into the hands of Van Jefferson.
And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Now it's Wilson. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Here's Wilson to throw. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. From the shotgun, Wilson. And he's got it. Touchdown. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Steelers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
Extra point now by Boswell. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told. And in the end, a Calvin Austin touchdown grab finished the drive off. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Browns drive about to get started. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
In the first half, we saw a strong performance out of the veteran quarterback, Russell Wilson. He came on after a slow start to fire 2 second-quarter touchdown passes and give his guys the lead at the intermission.
The Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
2nd and 6.
Jameis to throw it.
To the right side, that's where Tillman is.
So the completion good for just 3. And that'll make it 3rd down. Winston now. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Broken up that time by Joey Porter Jr.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
The Browns send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. Here's Austin. Call that a 46-yard punt with a net of 40 on the 6-yard return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
The Steelers offense and Russell Wilson headed back onto the field. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Now Wilson.
Completes this one to Pickens.
They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now Wilson.
That's complete to his tight end, Freiermuth.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a 1st down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Throwing is Wilson.
And here's Freiermuth again.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
From just shy of midfield, here's a 2nd and 4.
To throw is Wilson. Looking for Austin, intercepted.
Picked off by Greg Newsome.
And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown.
Boy, a big play right there. I mean, a touchdown on this drive could have really put some separation on the scoreboard. Instead, it's the defense who scores. And, partner, we got a game again.
And we do have one because of what you just described. A defense that understood what was going on in this game and did something about it. They knew their offense needed some help. They just provided it. They're back in this one.
Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So now out comes this offense led by their quarterback as they take over once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone. Another big play right there, and this is where, as an offense, you can really put the hammer down. You've got a double-digit lead, but those other guys, they've been hanging around. A touchdown here could put this game out of reach, and that's a strong step towards getting it done.
On the give, it's Warren. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line.
This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. So they go pass, now they go run, and 2 plays resulting in really nice pickups.
Certainly sounds like a 50-50 deal, doesn't it? Sounds like great balance. Well, you know what all those coaches have told us over the years, Brandon, that balance is? It means doing what you want to when you want to. That play calling is working very well for them right now.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Here's Wilson.
Got his man, it's Warren.
And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 9 yards, and that leaves them just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
On 3rd down, here's Harris. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6.
99 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
He continues to be effective running the football, a big reason that they have the lead.
And I love one of the quotes that I read about him where he said of himself, I love it when a team just hops on my back and I just carry them along.
Looking to throw. Wilson. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Russell Wilson. A 6-yard touchdown run.
And the Steelers add 6 to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Boswell good with the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here.
And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line.
We all know that teams never want to use the word panic, But if they expect to win this game, it has to start right here, right now. That return just set them up for points, and it needs to be a touchdown, not a field goal.
The Browns drive about to get started.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
2nd down and 6 now.
They run it again with Chubb. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
Winston. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Now the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long.
Here's Winston. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line.
Alex Highsmith
Picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Even keeping the back end for extra protection on 3rd down, they still couldn't prevent the sack. Now it's 4th and long thanks to a terrific individual effort on defense.
Here's Dustin Hopkins now to try the field goal. He hit his first, this one from 40 yards out. Hopkins' kick is good, and that will close the gap down to 14.
So that maybe not exactly what they were hoping for, but it does get them back within a couple of scores.
And at this point in the 3rd quarter, you don't have much margin for error, and that means you can't have drives that end with nothing. Whether it's a punt, a turnover on downs, those have to go away. You have to end with a kick, either a field goal or an extra point after a touchdown.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Now the Steelers getting set and ready for their next possession. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a bead on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out.
Now they fake the jet sweep there and a run instead with Harris.
Oh, some strong running. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A big run there, 29 yards and a first.
Thought they were going to have him down a lot earlier, but he was able to shed that tackle.
Shows the value of the weight room, doesn't it? Shows the value of the attitude when you run the football. Don't go down easily. Break a few tackles, gain some additional yardage.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson.
A short one there to Freiermuth.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson.
He's got this to Pickens.
And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 15-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
They'll try the right side with Harris. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. From the gun, it's Wilson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Once you get into the red zone, space is at a premium for receivers to try and operate and shake themselves free. That one's incomplete.
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9.
Now run straight ahead with Warren.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Harris will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1.
It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Najee Harris, well built for work down here near the end zone. That's a nice job there to hold him up, but I doubt we've seen the last of him on this drive.
2nd and goal from the 1.
Again, it's Harris. And I don't think he got in. He did not. They mark him short of the goal line.
No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
They'll try to run with Harris. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers.
Najee Harris.
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Steelers have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. So the 2nd down run didn't work. They run it again on 3rd down and get in. I wasn't sure if they might pass it, Charles. We know that they like to mix it up down here around the goal line.
Yeah, almost felt like the offensive line said, forget mixing it up. Let's call our favorite running play over our best blockers, and let's get this one in.
Boswell for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A 10-play drive that time.
And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The Cleveland offense ready to go. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. They'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
I think if they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's 2nd and 9. Winston. He's got the connection to Moore. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed 1st down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on 2nd down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. Fighting to stay on his feet past midfield. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Another 6-yard carry, same as last play. 1st down.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
Now Winston. Open man, he completes it to Judy. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it's 2nd down. They give the Chubb out of the gun. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And just shutting him off there. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Ordinarily 3rd down is a passing down, but how about that explosive run right there? And when you get a run like that, that means everything came together. Offensive linemen, they didn't just get to the first guys. They got to the 2nd level to help downfield. And I've always said, any run over 7 yards means the wide receivers have done an excellent job blocking downfield.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Chubb will get the call, running left. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb, a 16-yard touchdown run. And the Browns are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Hopkins with the extra point, and the lead will be cut down to 14. So that drive goes 8 plays. And Nick Chubb the one to finish it off as he does so with a touchdown run.
scoring the touchdown. Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. This offense and their running back headed back onto the field. And as we roll through some of the highlights, we see how crucial he's been to their success in this one. When he's in this type of a groove and his offensive linemen are creating running lanes for him, he can really put on a show, and he's done so here. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. And he's going to be touched down right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. A 2nd and 10 forthcoming here. 3rd quarter action in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, PA. Harris running straight ahead. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first. Just a gain of 1 there.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
Here's Wilson.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
I would dare say that these guys would have liked to have given their defense a little bit more rest since they gave up a touchdown their last time out. But alas, my man, that's not going to happen.
Yep, they're going to have to grab those helmets, get right back out there. The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Browns drive about to get started.
A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
Up the middle, it's Chubb. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's the Browns with a deficit. They're trailing, but with the football here to start the 4th. Throwing, Winston. They set up the screen to Chubb. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Play action now. Winston. Flush to his right. And Winston lost the football.
Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
The Browns send out their punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. The Steelers' offense and running back Najee Harris set to take over once more. And it's hard to believe you could run the ball a whole lot better than he has. The vision, the cutback ability, the acceleration, it's all been on display throughout. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Second and 1 now from the 21. Play action. It's Wilson. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
They tried to throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. On the give, this is Harris. Well, he's taken down, but not before picking up the first thanks to a flashy little spin move. Give him 2 on the play there, and the Steelers are going to have a first down.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. George Pickens, his intended receiver there, and that'll bring up 2nd down. They run with Harris, and he can muster only a couple here to the 24.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Third and 8. Wilson. Now they go screen. It's complete. And a good tackle there right around the 30. Stops him short of the first down. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger gain.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Cleveland offense ready to go. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. And that is not fooling anyone. He never had a chance to turn the corner there, and they'll go backwards right away. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case,
trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it, and the return will stop right around the 25.
This spot in the fourth quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15.
It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a first down.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
And the Steelers are looking at first and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
But when you're up by 2 scores in the fourth quarter and you're going to throw the football, expect to see a lot of man coverage, because usually what comes along with man coverage is pressure. So if you're a play caller and you want to keep throwing the football, that's fine. Just make sure your offensive line understands they're going to get additional.
And in for the Steelers, touchdown.
Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now.
And the Steelers have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter. He's got them out now to a 3-score lead here in the fourth quarter after that one, CD. And, well, he looked right off the line like he knew that that ball was coming his way, and he secured it for 6 points.
Yeah, and I think when you're leading by a healthy margin already, it actually loosens you up and allows you to take maybe a few more chances and definitely play with more confidence, because he certainly saw something he could exploit in the defense, and he made sure to let his quarterback know, just get it to me. And the rest was all up to him, and he delivered and made it a 3-score game.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. The drive there only spanning 3 plays.
And in the end, a Calvin Austin touchdown grab finished the drive off.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's second down and 1.
Here's Winston. Dumps this to his running back, Chubb. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
To throw, Winston.
Pass complete to Judy on the out route.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And it's second down. To throw is Winston. This is the tight end, Njoku. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a first down.
That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
2nd and 10.
Jameis to throw it.
Going out wide, finds Chubb.
5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Again, it's Winston.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Desperation time. Winston on 4th down.
That is caught.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. And again, it's Chubb. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up.
That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick.
And the Steelers are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead.
Denzel Ward, the number 4 pick in the 2018 draft, making the tackle from his corner spot. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They got his man complete. And all the way down to the 35. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 44 yards.
And even with the game seemingly in hand, they're continuing to fire away, pressing the ball down the field. Listen, it's worked all day. No reason to go away from it now.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 35-yard line.
A handoff for Warren.
They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9. A run with Harris out of the shotgun.
And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. Yeah, this is only going to be a gain of 2. He needed 3. It's 4th and 1.
When a good play is made on defense, oftentimes leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot, and on that play, they were able to stop them short of a 1st down.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin going to roll up the sleeves here and say, let's go for it on 4th. They run for it with Harris. And he picks up the 1st down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too. They hand this off to Harris. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
That didn't just feel like good defense there. That felt like pride, didn't it? He's already gotten into the end zone twice, trying to get there for a 3rd time. No one likes to have the hat trick against them.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
They'll try again.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers.
Najee Harris.
A 3-yard touchdown run.
And the Steelers have opened up a 4-touchdown lead here in the 4th.
Extra point now by Boswell. And that'll increase their lead to 28. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive.
And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Now Winston. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be second down.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Okay, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target.
Second down and 4.
Working out of the gun, Winston.
That ball nearly intercepted. The rookie had his hands on it, but couldn't pull it in.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Now they face a third down and 4 after that incompletion on second down. Jameis again.
Oh, he had a man open. He overshot him. It's incomplete.
Looked like they were set up defensively in a zone coverage, but somehow they found a seam because that receiver all alone. By rights, that should have been a touchdown, but somehow this ball's overthrown.
No choice but to go. Here's fourth down now.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out.
So this drive going to continue following the conversion on fourth. Here's first and 10.
I think this is what this game's become now. Just go deep, see if we can get something to go our way.
Yeah, not the most creative or most inventive play call there, but not much has worked for them throughout this game. They're almost at a loss about what to dial up.
Now a second and 10.
Winston. He sets to fire deep. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
Well, these guys are not going to go out with their tails between their legs. They're going to keep taking their shots until the clock's at triple zeros. But that one, like a lot of others, winds up incomplete.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on third down. They'll throw again. Winston.
This one downfield for Tillman.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Broken up that time by Joey Porter Jr.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
The decision made for them. They've got to go. It's fourth down.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. That's caught by his tight end, Jordan Akins. And unable to break away, they stop him a few yards shy. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
They came into this one with a vision, Charles, and it has played out exactly as they had hoped, if not even better. They've got the huge lead here, and now the football for the final moments of the fourth.
Yeah, and it was apparent that they were the better team, right? We figured that out pretty early. But give them a lot of credit for staying with it. They didn't stumble around out there. They didn't create a lot of errors for themselves because they were the superior team. They took care of business and closed them out pretty quickly.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance, that they're going to cherish.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
The Steelers earn the win at home as we say so long from Pittsburgh.